Bitcoin is deciding to be rather boring, but because the large term timeframes are expanding in volatility, this is just a quick hiatus in the small timeframes with reduced volatility. And once they expand, they will be expanding into larger time frame volatility. For the meantime, the range that I expect is going to be roughly where you see these dancing candles behind me, right there, with the smash like thing. So I think price will stay between what we're going to cover down here. However, there is one more target up above here that Bitcoin could hit, which is 17.6, and I want to show you what that is. It's the bottom of the origin line and why it's very, very likely to pull back strong there. Doesn't mean it can't get over, but it would probably have to take a break, form a higher low. So let me show you downside immediate target. So we're going to focus on short-term time frames today. Downside immediate targets, upside immediate targets, and what's going to happen in the middle. How are you going to be able to tell when that's going to be initiated one side to the other? Because we've had so much sideways movement, something's got to trigger it. I think I know what that is, so let's go get some Bitcoin. Let's get this done. We are 2 days into extremely unvolatile price. Yeah, right at 2 days in. Let me adjust this bad boy a little bit. There we go. So you see this a little bit better. What is going to trigger a move to the upside is this line right here. Let me zoom out and show you what that is. And I'll take a quick moment to show you how to draw it yourself. Once you see it, you might want it on your chart. And for new viewers, whether you're on the stream or the recorded version, you're not gonna probably see this anywhere else. So this is the 64K top over here. So that's why you go ahead and hit the smash button. Smash Brothers button. Smash the like and subscribe. And hit the bell for all alerts. All right, so this line gets some pretty big pivots. The macro higher low right here, the 64K top, the first higher low, big drop down support, big drop down, and price is getting rejected by it right now. Like this is going to be the trigger. And you're going to be zooming into the tiny, tiny micro time frames, and that's what we're looking at. It's extremely significant for this entire bear market and before, since the 64K top. So going back to the 15-minute chart, let me show you a quick version of how I think this might move. Let me take myself off here. So these are two ways that I think it can move down to that green line. And I think it will be an explosive move up to the origin line. Is it possible that price just continues going sideways? Yeah, it is, but that's not going to be my favorite guess right now because technically the range behind me, it isn't that volatile still. And I think the small term timeframes need to expand. And they're going to be, like I said earlier, they're going to be expanding into larger, like 2 day and 1 day and 5 day volatility increases. So let me take this off. And if you like to be able to see price paths like this on a chart, so you can tell how price will move, I had this timed with the daily open because when you go sideways almost the entire day, you know by about 2 p.m. New York, if you're going to get a move, it's not happening until right around the daily close. Sometimes starts an hour before. There are some exceptions. You'll have one spike up or spike down around 420-ish when the traditional markets close. But if it doesn't happen at 420, then you know, hey, I'm going to wait at least 3 hours before the next, or 2.5 to 3 hours before the next move hits. And so those price paths that you're seeing kind of represent that as well. So if you like that sort of thing, then I offer that My live chart, as it says up here, it's only available to the Discord members and the YouTube Cryptillion tier throughout the week, and then I'll open it up to everybody on the weekends. All right, so let's check this out. And a lot of people prefer that because it's better than setting your own lines and going to your own chart. You can just see it on video real quick, all the lines that are important to me. So let me do TA so you don't have to type of deal. All right, let's do this. Let me show you how to draw that line. Take these guys off here. To do this, I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart, I do believe. Might have to be the 8-hour. Yep, I'm going to go to the 8-hour chart. And if you have the free version of Tradingview and you wanted to follow along, you'd probably have to use the daily. So it actually starts right, at the top. My line specifically is just a little bit above it, mostly due to the very major things that happen as you come this way. And it makes, so at first when I was making this, yes, I had it aligned with here, but I think it looks better. It works out better if it's just over it. So that's where it starts. And around that formation, the bottom of it, so you know how wide it is, this little, it's not a channel, it's more like it's like a trend line, but it's got cushion, right? It's a feathery trend line. That's how I view it. So it's not a trading channel, but the bottom of this scoops these highs right here. Scoops the high, scoops the high, scoops the high right around on both sides of the 64K top. So when you're making, you want to know how wide this is, that's how you do it. Then you go here, the bottom of it should like hit almost perfectly that macro high or low of September 21st. And then the lower low spike down of January 24th of 2022, the wick pierces through there. And again, it's the 8-hour chart. And this big drop right here, it pierced through it. That is May, that's the May drop. All right, so right now, price fell back into this guy. And you can just tell, once it breaks out of it, it looks to me that it would just want to hit the top of this area, right? As simple as this sounds, let's zoom out. Look at it bouncing on this guy. And once it gets out, it's explosive. Once it gets out, well, that wasn't too explosive, but pops it, then explodes up. Dipping this far into it, I see no reason. Even the smaller one right here, like it would hit this origin line right here. So that's why, visually, I'm identifying this line but zoomed way, way, way in. That is my initiator, which is going to initiate the move up. And price is struggling with it right now, but it's so, so, so close. Let's go to the 1-minute chart so you can see how it's dancing on it. So this is the battle line right now. So you might actually be able to see the 1-minute candles get on top, close on top, close on top, close on top, then go boop, 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 bam. That might be how it plays out if this goes up. But the moment that you see this starting to be used as resistance, then you know that it's going to have to test a little bit lower back down to the blue box before trying up again. Doesn't mean it's over for it. So put the blue box back on. It would likely have to come back down to 16,420 if it does start getting rejected from there. Or maybe find a higher low, a 45-degree angle to there. Maybe, if it gets rejected. And now, since we zoomed out, where'd my horizontal go? Darn it. Good. Guess I had it labeled. So this is a horizontal that goes back to the previous market cycle. Because I think it's going to be explosive out of here, it looks like it's going to pass this. And if it uses the origin line as resistance, I think it would come down and use this as support and then try to go sideways most of the weekend and not really break down too badly. because I think the market open of next week on stocks, I think it's going to want to try up one more time for likely a lower high. And if bigger money knows that that's their plan for Monday, well, they're going to keep Bitcoin positioned in a relative to micro timeframes in a position of strength. Midterm timeframes, no, we're weak. Like big timeframes, monthly, it's atrocious. We're falling off a cliff. Have you seen that? On a monthly chart, this shit's falling off a cliff. But, so yeah, let's go to that. So I'm going to go from micro timeframes so you can tell what's going to happen in the next, 48 hours or 24 hours. But now I'm going to go to the opposite. I'm going to go to the macro timeframes to show you, even though it looks like right now the monthly is falling off a cliff, I want you to try to format your brain to that, because most people are not used to thinking on a monthly time frame. And after we go over this exercise, it probably will open some doors back there that you haven't thought of before, specific to formatting your brain to the time frame and what it all means. All right, so let's dive into that. Do I want to be on the top right? I don't think I do. I want to be on the bottom right. Sorry. Let me go to this chart over here. One more quick look at Bitcoin. So let's look at mid time frames first, actually, before we do the month. Why do I have all of these here? Let's get rid of those. There we go. This is what's happening on the midterm time frames. So we just had a bull trap and it fell back into the channel. So now let's zoom into there and we can compare it to what's happening on the micro time frames. Let's go to the 1 hour. So when you look at price this way, what does it look like it's getting ready to do? I think it looks like it's ready to come up and at least touch this, right? So if that were close to 17.6, that would mean two totally different types of analyses are aligning, almost exactly, right? So let's take a look. Ta-da! It really looks poised to break up there. So that is your immediate target. That white line that I had, the horizontal from 2017, I think it would bust through there and use that as support, but it could cause price to hesitate. So that's midterm timeframes. Now let's look at it on the monthly. And if you're new to my channel, you can pause that portion, or go back on the stream or use the recording of this because I'm recording it and we'll upload it. You can copy that. It's an extremely, extremely useful tool. There we go. All right, check this out. Watch. Imagine that these wicks essentially act. These are monthly wicks. So this is going back to December 2020. This is the June low, the original big dump. And they're on the same plane, right? So if price falls off of there, it's going to accelerate. But there is a major area right here that could, also try to hold it up if it's not on the same plane. So this wick over here is actually below those two wicks, like so. And look what the month is doing. There is nothing else to hold this up until the candle bodies. There's nothing else. Like Bitcoin, it looks like it is going there right now on the monthly chart. It doesn't even matter if this month has not confirmed the closing like this. I mean, it's falling off the cliff, right? And it should begin accelerating on a monthly scale. So what does that mean? Now that we know my thoughts on the monthly scale, it's falling now. It will start accelerating down now. What does now mean when you then think by unit of measurements of days? Sun up, sun down days. What does that mean? What does it mean for tomorrow? Start there. Does it mean tomorrow has to go down? No. Does it mean within the next 5 days it has to go down? No. We have roughly 13 more days in this month. Doesn't mean it has to go down at all in those 13 days. No, it doesn't. Well, what about next month? Yeah, next month's when it should accelerate, right? Okay, well, what about December 5th? Does it have to go down? No. Why? Is it going down, Tim? Like, what do you mean? So that's the difference. Like a month. So let me show you. Why did I say no even to December 5th? Well, if you look at it like this, most red candles that fall off of, some quote unquote cliff. So for example, here you had monthly candles, wick and a wick. And so this month closed below, close into that area. And the next month started accelerating down, right? It started the acceleration. But what did it do? First, it wicked up. How many days on average does that take? Well, it's more than just a few hours. It could be a week. It could be a quarter of the month, and then the last 3 weeks, it makes all the move down. So it still even means that into next month, price, honestly, you would expect it to go up because usually you don't get bare bottom wick candles like this. So this is a bare bottom one. It looks like it went up for the first potentially 1 minute and then went down the entire month. That one, here, let's zoom way in here. So when you see wicks this small, that often does happen in the matter of minutes or hours on a monthly scale. So sellers were in a hurry that time. But typically, most red candles have some form of wick. Here, even this one where it fell off a cliff. Let's see how many days that took. I actually don't know. It looks like it might have been a little faster, but let's take a look. Go to the 4 hour. All right, the month started on this hour. All right, so it generally went up-ish for 9 days. And it was a deep red candle that just fell off the face of the earth. And it went up for the first 9 days. And so that's what it means that it's dropping now on the monthly. Take you all the way to December 9th. And I think I've been guessing on YouTube. I've been thinking, around the 7th through the 10th, maybe as long as Christmas before this all moves down. Maybe. I'm thinking more 7. Maybe I've said 7th through the 15th. That's why. I was keeping the monthly backfill in mind, knowing that the month has already fallen off a cliff, pressure is down, but correctly reformatting my brain from monthly to daily, you have to know what that means. So you're not just like going balls to the wall short right now. And so in the meantime, what that might look like and this is going to wrap around to what I've been talking about since Bitcoin touched this origin line, right? That it's going to go sideways for about a month since the drop, right? Let's go to So in a lot of my other YouTube videos recently, after this recent move down, right here, so on this day, that was the 8th of November when the sell-off really began, and I saw this, I knew that the only way Bitcoin ever behaves when you see this type of strong move down to an origin line and it bounces like that are three options. One option is to bounce on top of the origin line but it's for a month and then break down. The other one is it bounces under it for about a month and then breaks down. And the third one is you kind of saddle ride this origin line, go on both sides of it, neither support nor resistance, and then at the end you trickle down, spike up, and go down. That's the only three ways it behaves. And so all of those, I mean, I think the shortest one was 23 days. And that would take you to December 2nd, and that would allow a backfill as well. So, and I was, when I made those analyses on how price moves in that situation, in that moment, I did not have the monthly in mind. I just knew that every time this happens, with no exceptions, price will go sideways for a month and then break down. And it happens to align with formatting your brain to the monthly scale and what's at stake on the monthly. Hopefully this was helpful. If you see on the recording things popping up, go ahead and check them out, playlist, and what it's like within the Discord community. Let's move on to Ethereum.